The Eagle kick team out there now as they run up and send this one away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, still a good return. They'll start the drive right around the 37. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 8.
To throw is Wilson. Baldwin with it over the middle. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
A throw over the middle taken in. And he is across midfield from 149 to the other 49. A gain of just 2.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Here's a 2nd and 8.
Wilson. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. And the Eagles are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy is not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And they are led out there by their mobile quarterback.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 37. Off play action, it's Cunningham. He's got Smith here. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. First play of the drive going for 14 and a first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
A play fake, now Cunningham. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
It's early, but announcer cliche alert here. Big players make big plays. Should I say in big games too? Ah, what the heck. And this defense, they're going to have to find some way to slow him down as this game goes on, because when this combination is going good, they can tear your secondary apart.
On first down, it's Cunningham. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown.
And the Eagles use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
Well, we know he can run the ball. There he shows he has the ability to do a little bit more.
That's what you call a complete player. A guy who can run it, catch it, probably can protect the passer when necessary, but his skills are best used when you get the ball in his hands.
And that's the thing. When you've got an athlete like that, you want to get the ball to him in multiple ways, right?
Without a doubt, because he often creates mismatches about who can cover him, whether he's coming out of the backfield or even lining up like a receiver.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The Eagle kick team out there now as they run up and send this one away. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
This is really impressive because when the offenses are running RPOs, things move very quickly. Fake, ball's out of his hands, and they're trying to hit him in the gaps downfield. And instead, the defender reacts so well that he makes a play on it, and the ball falls incomplete.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Alexander. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Wilson, he's getting his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Alexander. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
They go play action now. Wilson. He gets it to Baldwin. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. 2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away. Here's Jackson to return.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
This is one of the dangers of going for the punt block.
And you know before you even call going for the block, it's a risk-reward play. So many factors come into it. They went after it, and you know punters, what they do? They leave their leg up in the air an extra count or 2, hoping someone comes into contact.
Now it's 1st and 10 after a costly penalty there on 4th down. They run the counter. Alexander. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. They went counter there offensively, and a couple of defenders were on skates for a second.
They certainly were, and you know what offensive linemen love about the counters and the misdirections? Sometimes you don't even have to block the defender. He can run himself out of the play if he doesn't read his keys properly.
Right back to him on 1st down. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. On 2nd down, Wilson able to find his target here, Largent. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a 1st down on the play. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receive.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's 1st sack of the game.
These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
On 2nd down, it's Alexander, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
He finds his man complete. That's Alexander. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
And that big gain may just change the thought process here on 4th down. I think in the red zone, they might now consider going for it on 4th down.
Pete Carroll, no stranger to rolling the dice. He'll roll it again. 4th down, they're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. So their 1st drive of the game already trailing, having given up points. A little surprised that they went for it, right?
Maybe the big guy, the head coach, senses this is going to be a shootout type of a game. That they've got to match them point for point as opposed to, hey, we'll get them later. Maybe he just has that sense, and that's why he decided to go for it there.
They'll start on the ground with McCoy. Gets around him. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Cunningham looking to throw.
It's Jackson again on the reception.
And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it'll be 2nd down. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Now Cunningham. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 35.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
Now a 1st down throw, Cunningham. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It'll be a loss of 10, and it'll bring up 2nd.
Well, remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they get the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Here's Cunningham. Throwing left side, it's complete. A big play there for Philly. And even 40 yards. How about this first quarter for them throwing the football?
This defense has 0 answers for what they've seen so far with the ball in the air. I'm not sure how they're going to change things around, but offensively, I keep attacking. I keep throwing the football until they make me change.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now McCoy. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Well, the spotlight hit him once already tonight as he got into the end zone. He was trying to make it a double spotlight, wasn't he?
But credit the defense, bottling him up, not letting him get in for the 2nd score there. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. They'll try again with McCoy. And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter.
And the Eagles are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
He's showing the different ways he can hit you in this first quarter. 1 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown.
He's showing us he's not just a stereotype, isn't he? Not just a guy who carries the ball in the backfield, can get out into space, make plays with his hands downfield. That's a pretty good combination right there.
Defensively, you'd prefer to be going against the stereotype, wouldn't you?
At least you know where he is, right? That gives you a chance to get more people to him and get him on the ground.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And he returns this to the 22. Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively.
They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
The sack there by Brandon Graham, coming in and bringing him down to the ground.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Let's go.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Now a handoff up the middle. Alexander. And strong running there. Gets this up over the 15-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here. The Seahawks on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I don't think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Now Cunningham. And complete to Zach Ertz. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
Cunningham to throw.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them, because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
After the interception, here's Wilson. It's reeled in by Baldwin. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
The throw on the quick slant going to be complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Ball on the 27. Here's a 2nd and 4.
They go play action with Wilson. There's the tight end, Carlson. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. 3rd and 7 now.
In today's NFL, we're accustomed to the tight end getting downfield and creating plays and wreaking a little havoc in the secondary. Not on this one, though. They diagnosed that one really well.
Tried the dump off, lost yardage. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long. Here's Wilson. Throw left side complete. That's Alexander. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 18 yards there, down 2 to 18 and a first down.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. This one into the hands of Largent. And able to get this down inside the 15 to either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. To throw again is Wilson. And that is incomplete. 4th down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage.
Smart move to throw that one away. You're in field goal range, so you definitely don't want to be loose with the ball. And that's great work by this defense to force a 4th down.
So on 4th down, Pete Carroll's going to call out his field goal unit. From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14 to 3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Now after the made field goal, Hauschka back out onto the field to kick it away. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that.
He's got a man, complete. He's to the 15. Touchdown, Philadelphia. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Eagles are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. And, Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is, but he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is up to 18 now. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ball game.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Off the play fake. Here's Wilson.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted.
And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here.
And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Cunningham.
And this one nearly picked off. Yeah, kind of surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but get away it does, and it's 2nd down.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable, or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
Off play action, it's Cunningham. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Now a 1st down carry here for McCoy.
And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 40 yards rushing for him now, and he's only carried the ball 4 times.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run, and that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Out of the gun here, it's Cunningham. Touchdown! From 13 yards out.
And the Eagles continue to pull away here in this first half. Well, we know he has decent hands out of the backfield. That's the first time, Charles, they've targeted him in the passing game, and it pays dividends.
And I love the design, too, because they kept him in the backfield, made the defense think run first before they swung him out of there. And you're right, with his hands, they might want to throw it to him just a little bit more.
Point after here coming up. And they open the lead up now to 25 points. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it was capped off by an Eagles touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Tyler Lockett now with the return.
And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
A throw left side to start out. That's complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Now a 2nd and 2.
They'll try the left side. It's Alexander, and he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carlson. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away.
With it is Jackson. Call that a 46-yard punt, though they did get 9 back on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's been effective so far over the 40-yard mark here in the 2nd quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
Wide open receiver complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
But what they're seeking with an RPO is space for the receiver to make a catch and then make a play downfield, but there wasn't any space available, thus the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Cunningham from the gun. Looking here for Smith downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. They overload him that time on the safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was the strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
The Eagles send out their punter now. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson, and it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms saying throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
Now Wilson.
This caught by Carlson. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end. The Seahawks on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Throwing again here, Wilson. It's caught. Baldwin. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
First down, the run with Lynch. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
2nd down and 3. Wilson. This complete to Lockett. And Lockett going to pick up a Seahawks first down as he'll get this down inside the 40. It's a pickup of 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Carlson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. Left side complete to Lockett. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Second and 7. Again, Wilson. Returning right back to Lockett. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Here now, 3rd and a yard. Up the middle they go. Alexander, and he'll have the first down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Wilson. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Baldwin. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Ball at the 6 here as they work with a 2nd and 2. Here's Wilson to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this defense because their coverage has been playing at a shutdown level so far, even backed up late. They're forcing incompletions and fighting to keep them out of the end zone as the first half winds down.
3rd and 2, now Wilson. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. Touchdown, Seahawks! From 6 yards away. And the Seahawks get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Until that late score here in the 2nd quarter, they'd only had the field goal, so that's just big to see that football get into the end zone.
Yeah, and when you look at the scoreboard now, nothing seems out of reach. They've been outplayed in the first half, but when the clock hits zeros as they head into the half, you know what I do as the head coach?
What?
I tell my team to sprint to the locker room to show that we've got the momentum and show that we're right back in this game.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead is down to 28-10. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. And the Eagles going to get one final possession in this first half. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Cunningham to throw. That's caught by Jackson. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the 3rd quarter gets underway. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Eagles ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
On 1st down, it's Cunningham. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. 2nd down.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. A play fake. Now Cunningham.
That one complete down the field to Smith.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Here's Cunningham.
And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's 2nd down.
And that could have been the lifeline they needed. This is a play that could have been made. Instead, it's just going to fall incomplete.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Up the middle, here's McCoy. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Cunningham looking to throw. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the 2nd half. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10 at the 20. Throwing to start the drive. Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
On 2nd down, Wilson. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off, not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down, makes it manageable now.
Now Wilson.
That is caught. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
They go play action with Wilson. It's complete. It's Miller. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
On second down now, it's Alexander. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
On third down, Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time.
Now inside the 25.
And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD.
And Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick-6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
Extra point forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD. And if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 4.
They go play action now. Wilson. And smartly going into the slide there. Wilson has enough for the first. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Evident there that he learned his lesson from the last drive. No way he was going to force a throw that time. When nothing broke open, kept it, and ended up running for a first down himself.
Now Wilson on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
This is certainly a team that has proven it likes to target its backs through the air and defensively. They were aware of that and certainly were prepared on that throw.
2nd and 10.
Now it's Wilson. It's caught. Lockett. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Fletcher Cox gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Let's go do this thing, baby. What we got?
Off play action, it's Cunningham.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
On 2nd down, here's Cunningham. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away, but the bottom line is that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Cunningham. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Bobby Wagner, multiple times an All-Pro, in there to drop him for a loss.
I know nowadays they give a lot of guys different things when they get to the sidelines after creating a big play, but just throw a cape on this guy because he single-handedly ended multiple drives. Interception earlier, sack on 3rd down. Really? Should have a better game plan installed for how to contain him because he's affecting this game in so many ways.
The Eagles send out their punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
And able to work about 5 yards out of this as he's taken down up near the 47.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. This caught by Carlson. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a 1st down.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10.
Now a handoff up the middle. Alexander. And he'll get it down here to the 43. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on 1st down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
From the 43, here's a 2nd and 5.
They run the counter. It's Alexander, and he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
You know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. And they're back within 3 scores as it's now a 22-point game. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
That one unable to develop, never got going. A loss of a couple, and it's 2nd down.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. Now Cunningham. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. And the defense coming through on 3rd down, a loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Play action. Now Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. Wilson. This is Miller, complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Wilson. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
I don't care how many times we say it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to bring up second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. Now a throw here, hauled in. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
From the 31, here comes 2nd and a yard.
Up the middle they go. Alexander. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Bad news, they didn't get it on 2nd down. The good news is they still only need about 3 or 4 inches here on 3rd.
And the good play callers have looked at both situations. They thought to themselves, okay, this call, I pick up the first down, already ready with that call. If I don't, this is what I'm going to come back with in order to pick it up.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. A 4th and short, had your offense out there. That one stings.
And you know something? Your options change dramatically. Not only is it tougher to go for it, but what if you decided just to line up and try and draw them off sides? If you did it on 4th and short, you could pick up the cheap first down. Now, you still won't get a first down, even if you do exactly the same thing.
Here we go. It's Wilson on 4th down. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Pete Carroll rolled the dice, but it didn't work out. And the Eagles defense able to hold. So that's the 2nd time this game they've given it up on 4th down. They're now 1 for 3 on 4th down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on 4th down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually, you have 4th down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by McCoy.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
The Eagles on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Cunningham to throw. Going to drop this off to McCoy, complete. And he is going to have an Eagles first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest, getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
10th carry now for McCoy. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. The free safety roaming all the way up to the line of scrimmage to make that stop.
How about his ability to trust his eyes and figure out it was not a pass play and go fast towards the line of scrimmage in order to make that tackle?
On 2nd down, it's McCoy. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, 4th quarter with a 3-score lead here, Charles, but they're still going back to the air and looking for more points.
Well, with this game well in hand, it's an opportunity for the guys to come off the bench and get a chance to play. And a lot of coaches, they want to run their full playbook no matter who's on the field.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback.
The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. He's got Largent complete here over the middle. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, now Wilson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down by a couple of yards as they're able to get 4 there on 3rd and 2.
Oftentimes we think of those tough yards as grinding yards that a running back has to pick up. How about the tight end there picking up the first down in that situation?
That's what he's there for, right?
Big fella, get it to him, let him fight off some people and pick up the necessary yardage.
On first down, Wilson able to find his target here, Largent. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Again, Wilson. He finds Lynch. It's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. It's complete. It's Miller. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Throwing again here, Wilson. And that one too wide and incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Now Wilson. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. It'll be a sack and a loss of 3, but more importantly, it brings up 4th down.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line. Well, that's the 4th time that they've tried to go for it on 4th down. They've only converted once, Charles.
And obviously not a good percentage. And if you're going to go for it on 4th down, you think that you've got the right play dialed up. You can't be stopped. Your momentum's going to keep going. But 1 for 4, that tells you that you need to look at things in a different way, and you need to tip your cap to the defense. They've done a great job.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a running situation probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 68 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described. Manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage. They're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice game.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get. So he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. 1st down.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
On 1st down, it's Cunningham. And oh, it'll be intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line.
Partner, I think this one won a ride very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
After the interception, here's Wilson. This one into the hands of Largent. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Throwing is Wilson. That's complete. He's got Lynch out of the backfield. And he'll get maybe a couple before he's taken down, as that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just a gain of a couple there. And now it's 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Now it's Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down. The defense a little lax there. They give up 9 on 4th and 4. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. He finds his man, complete. That's Alexander. So the completion good for just 3. And that'll make it 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Wilson. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. Wilson. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds left to play.
Be perfect.
Make it all the way. Let's get up here with the W offense.
Now Wilson on 1st down. Finding Lockett for the catch here on the out route. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that will bring up 2nd down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. To throw again is Wilson. He's going to get this complete here to Lockett. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Wilson to throw. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Wilson will throw again. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up third down.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
On third down, Wilson. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Now Wilson. And this is dropped and incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone. As time has run out on this ball game. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember the old adage, offense sells tickets. Defense does what?
Wins championships.
And in this game, maybe a championship wasn't won, but a game was by the defense, right? Held them to just a field goal. That's a heck of a job. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say good night from Seattle.